How's it going, people? Welcome back to AFTV and welcome back to another transfer deadline day update. New news coming in. I think we already assumed it was coming, but Reiss Nelson, he's signed a new contract till 2023 and he's off on loan to Feyenoord.
Yep, another loan for Reiss Nelson on Feyenoord this time. Do you know what? I think this is good. Because if he stayed at Arsenal, which he did, remember he stayed in January, and he didn't play, did he?
No.
And I think this is a kid that is very, very talented and needs to play football.
I agree, yeah.
And, you know, the only thing I was thinking, though, is that Willian's gone now. A lot of wingers have gone, so
minutes.
Could he have got some minutes?
Yeah, Reiss, it's a big shame for me with Reiss Nelson. I think if you go back to 2019, Rob, look, Reiss Nelson was probably our most promising youngster. Aside from the Martinez and Guendouzi's who we had just bought Saliba, if you look at the, Hale End crop, 2019, there was no Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe. Reiss Nelson was the one that I looked at as, maybe the next one to step in.
Yep.
2020, he went through a season of change. Emery, Arteta, he didn't get many minutes. And I thought to myself, okay, this season we'll see him a bit more. And it just hasn't happened for him. And like I said, it's a big shame because I thought he was going to be the next one coming up through Arsenal, and it just... I'm glad it's a loan. Because, in all honesty, I think we're going to go through some big changes at Arsenal Football Club in the next year in terms of managerial and whatnot, the way we're going. So I'd like the next manager to maybe have him there just in case.
He's got to nail this loan, though. I think he's got to nail this loan because I think so far... he's flattered to deceive, isn't it? He's not delivered in the way in which everybody thought he was going to. And I think he's got to nail this loan. I remember him going on loan, I think it was to Hoffenheim.
Yeah.
And he started off really well and then...
yeah, he didn't.
And I think now he needs to go and he needs to really have a good loan move. Really, really deliver, put in some good numbers, put it in, week out, and then come back to Arsenal and do what Saka's doing. Because like you said, that what you said there is 100% true. I've spoken to people at Arsenal and they've said to me, he was considered the most talented of all the youngsters.
Yeah.
And he's just not delivered it when he's played in games. So I think now is the time when, he really has to step it up.
I think it coincides with listen, during Wenger's period at the club, if Reiss Nelson had come into a Wenger side, I think he would have kicked on and excelled a bit because Wenger's sides, free-flowing, working ball into spaces, counter-attack, movement, that suits him. But with Emery and Arteta, it's a lot more rigid. It's a lot more over-tactical in a sense, and I think that doesn't suit him, hence why we haven't seen him much. And when Saka comes in and Emile Smith-Rowe come in, they have that bit of their game that suits them. That's why they've excelled. Reiss Nelson doesn't really suit what Emery was trying to do and what Arteta, if anyone knows, what he's trying to do.
But I think with him, though, he needs to be a bit... I always find with Reiss Nelson, right? He's like... The talent is undoubted. He's very skillful. He's got it all. I just find that sometimes in games, he's not aggressive enough in his play. Too easy to bounce off the ball. Bit lightweight.
Yeah.
And maybe going to... playing, with a team like Feyenoord. They're a good team. They're a rated team. I'm not sure. Are they in Europe? They must be in Europe, surely. Feyenoord. I'm not even sure. I haven't checked.
I'll have a quick check.
But, I think playing for a team like that, will hopefully build him. But, that's what I want to see, a bit more aggression in his play.
I agree with that. He had a couple chances early on, even before we had Saka and Emile introduced, and he just didn't grasp it, by the horns, whereas Saka and Emile did, and that's why we are here now.
Coffee Jadam says, Reiss Nelson is a talented player. Hopefully he has a good year and comes back more confident. And I think he has been lacking in a bit of confidence.
But one thing about him is, I remember last year or 2019, he said, I don't want to go out in any more loans. I want to prove myself here now. I'm an Arsenal boy. I love the club and I want to break through. And that's exactly what I want to be hearing. Yeah,
but then having said that, he's not delivered it.
Yeah, so I don't think confidence is an issue. I think that... Do you think he's had enough chances? Do you think...
you can talk confidently, innit?
Yeah, well, yeah.
But you've got to back it up, innit?
On the pitch.
I
feel like he's had the least chances out of Joe Willock, Emile Smith-Rowe, Saka and so on. Even though I wouldn't put him close to Emile Smith-Rowe and Saka, I feel like he's had the least chances.
Yeah, you could argue that.
It didn't help signing Pepe on that side. Obviously, when you sign 70 million, man.
And then what annoyed me last year is that we then went and signed Willian, and I was like, you got Pepe. Now what chance does that give him? That's no chance.
Yeah, and it can put a player's morale down. He's probably there thinking to himself, "I want to give my all for this club," and you're signing a Chelsea reject to play ahead of me. It's not really making sense.
Yep. So it's another outgoing. I wanted to check and see how many that is that's gone out now. Let me just
let's have a quick whiz. Let me see what some of the chat's saying.
Yeah, once you do that, I'm just gonna check.
Kabilesh asking, would Ramsdale start over Leno? Who knows, mate? We'll see. We'll see as the season pans out. He is our most expensive keeper of all time, I believe, Aaron Ramsdale. Yep. That's not saying much considering some of the fees we spent, but he is the most expensive of all time.
By the way, talking of keepers, Runnison, he's going out on loan as well. He's going out on loan. Is he not going to
Belgian side?
Belgian side, Leuven or something like that. Yeah. I'm run through. So let me run through. So you got Runnison. He's going out on loan.
Yep.
Bellerin is set to go out on loan. That hasn't been announced yet, but he looks like he's going to be heading to Real Betis. Then you've got... I'm going running through the players. I see Kolasinac.
He's still there,
I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it. Ainsley, we don't know what's going to happen with him, but he's still there at the moment. And then he's still here.
His name two so far.
Balogun.
Eddie's still here.
So Saliba's gone out on loan with Rapinas, Torreira. So what do we see now? We count out 1, 2, 3. Torreira, Guendouzi, Nelson. That's 5 players out on loan.
Plus the other 2.
Plus,
7,
you got Runnison. So that'd be 7 players out on loan. Plus Willian's gone. That's 8.
Yeah.
They've really trimmed the squad,
They have. But how much fee did we get for 8 combined? 1 million for Guendouzi up front. That was it.
Jeez.
And then 10 million at the end of the...
And then you can look on it, and even with doing that, so we're still going to have, striker-wise, Martinelli, Nketiah, Balogun, Aubameyang and Lacazette. That's 5 strikers there.
Yeah, no, we didn't sort out what we needed to sort out. We're going in with the same set of strikers, 2 with 10 months to go now on their contract. So just know we're already losing 2 players. I say 2. There's also Callum Chambers and Kolasinac whose contracts will run out end of this season. So that's 4 players whose contracts run out end of this season for free instead of getting 10 mil each for them or something like that.
Yeah, and then Kolasinac is still here. How is he still here?
No, and he's still here. He's
starting. All those players that have gone out on loan and he's still here. Wow.
I guess he didn't want to terminate his contract like Willian did.
Would you send Cedric out on loan?
No.
Now that we bought that...
No, I still think Cedric's our best backup right back. Not saying much, but I still think, rather than Chambers play there, I'd rather Cedric.
Well, that's a lot of players, I'm just saying, that's a lot of players that have gone out on loan. A lot of players that have gone, that's 7 players trimmed off of the squad. And that's a lot of players that have moved out. So
it's amazing that we haven't sold anyone, have we?
Only Joe Willock.
Oh yeah, okay. 25 mil Joe Willock.
Yeah.
Well, we've got 1 in there, I guess. 1 out of 8.
Gunner 1886 says, this morning I was excited. Small part of me said, today we signed Awar, give fans something. Instead, nothing. Trust the process with El Neni. Pathetic, he says.
What do you mean they gave us nothing? They gave us Tomiyasu. You don't know about Tomiyasu? We're going to find out.
We were just talking about that. We were just saying that, I actually I'm looking forward to seeing him at that Norwich game. Yeah, hopefully play, Well,
Arteta might have bought him and make him 3rd choice right back. He's done that with Cedric, innit? So who knows where he's going to play.
I'll be honest with you, after what I saw in that last game from Cedric, I'd rather see him,
Yeah.
I still can't get over that, man.
It doesn't get any better. Any one of the ones we played there, it doesn't get any better. It's like a rotation of mess.
Oh my god. But what do you guys think? Do you think it's the right move to have sent Reiss Nelson out on loan? I can see a lot of you guys are responding to that. Box of Oranges 84 said Reiss Nelson went to Feyenoord to play European football. So are they in Europe?
Yeah.
What, a Europa League?
Yeah. Wait, I got the table from. Let me double check.
Sure, they're not in the Champions League, I don't think. Tadej says Nelson started in the Wenger team and played games, and Arteta is starting him over Pepe at the start. Is that the one you already read?
Oh, they ain't in no Europe apparently.
Oh, they're not in Europe?
They finished 5th last season. I don't think that's
so they're not in Europe?
Nah, that's not Europe.
Unless they're in the Nations.
Europe.
Was it not the
conference? Well, the third place in Holland get Europa League, so 4th Vitesse. I guess they would get conference if any.
Oh yeah, Vitesse are in the Conference League.
Oh, if Feyenoord 5th, they didn't get anything unless they won a cup somewhere. Or I'm not sure. Let us know. Is Feyenoord in Europe, people? The league table tells me no, but maybe one of their cup competitions tells me yeah.
Yeah, true.
You know,
that's
sometimes
true.
That's the avenue.
Yeah, so Tadej said, did you read this one already? We said Nelson started in the...
No.
Said Nelson started in the Wenger team and played games, and Arteta was starting him over Pepe at the start. The boy hasn't developed the way he's meant to. It's been 4 to 5 years now. He needs to step up. I think that's a fair point, and this really is it for Reiss Nelson.
Yeah.
He has to go out, have a good loan, really impress, and then come back. The only problem with loan moves is that you can go out, impress, like what Saliba did last year, and you still, sometimes they just look at it and say, oh, great, your value's gone up, off you go, we're selling you.
Yeah,
that's the only thing, isn't it?
And he makes a good point. He was starting ahead of Pepe originally, and then all of a sudden we signed Willian, and Willian gets more minutes than him, and then we terminate Willian's contract, but then we send Reiss out on loan without buying a right winger. So it's very strange what we've done over the last 2 years, but he needs something. Hopefully this loan he can kick on. Hopefully he either comes back developed, kicking raring to go, or he comes up with some value, either or.
Nigel says, get Renato Sanchez. Simple. Now, Renato Sanchez has been linked with a move to Wolves, but that move has fallen through. Yeah. So he's still available, Renato Sanchez. Would you move for him?
I'll take. Listen, beggars can't be choosers, Rob. And in this position we're in right now, we need someone in the middle. I'll take Renato Sanchez on deadline day. He's got quality. He's got the right mentality, I believe. I think he's faced adversity in his career already. He's still young, and he seems like he's come at the back end. You know, that Swansea loan that didn't go well. If you look now, he just won the French league with Lille. He had a good Euro tournament. I think if you ask me Aouar or Sanchez, I'll take Sanchez.
Okay.
Who would you take?
Sanchez.
Yeah.
Because the only little thing with me on Sanchez is that I think he had a few injury problems last year, and I think he's injured at the moment, isn't he?
Oh, is it?
Oh
yeah.
So that's the only thing about it. But when I saw him in the Euros, I was so impressed by him, and it's just what we need. Strong and dynamic in the midfield.
Yeah.
Can progress the ball forward as well. He looked brilliant in the Euros. I'd have him.
100%.
Upgrade on Xhaka all day long.
And he seems to have a bit of grit that Aouar doesn't. He seems to have that gritty side, and we need that in the Premier League.
Yep. But I'd be really surprised if we did sign him.
Definitely.
But I think it would be a good signing. Hart Patel says, Robbie, Thomas Partey, does he live in hospital? He says. He has had a lot of injuries since he's joined, hasn't he? And we in pre-season, he was looking, I was like, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That's what we bought.
That's what we bought.
Yeah. And
then he goes and gets injured in that game against Chelsea, and we haven't seen him yet. First 3 games missing.
Yeah, we haven't seen him.
And he's your big-time player. He's the player you need in these, you know.
Yeah, we talk about the middle often. He wasn't in there enough last season. He hasn't started this season in there. He is a big player, regardless of we haven't seen it yet at the club. From what I've seen at Atletico and what he's done over there, he's a big player, big name, and I hope this season he becomes the one in the middle.
Needs to be. Ice Mooney says Paolo Maldini rates Tomiyasu and wanted him at Milan. It's up to Arteta to actually play someone that the best defender ever said is very good. Well, he's bought him.
Well, yeah, Pep Guardiola and Arsene Wenger said Mikel Arteta's very good, but here we are, last in the league, 2 8th-place finishes. You know, sometimes listening to legends is not the way to go.
True. Andrew Lee says, from South Korea, respect to the Don and Turkish, been an Arsenal fan for 20 years, and it's depressing to see Arsenal when most fans here are Spurs now because of Son. I'm dying here. Please get more players. It must be, yeah, I know. You know what? In South Korea, Son has got them all nailed.
Yeah.
Anyhow, to be fair to him,
That sounds mad to me. That someone from another country is saying that there's too many Tottenham fans about. Do you know how mad that is? You would never have heard that 15 years ago. We laugh, but it's also a worrying situation.
It's true, and he is a very good player, isn't he, Son? He's a very good player, unfortunately. Peter Bissett says, Arsenal are, despite to being a selling club, but they're more like the Trotters independent traders, only fools and flogging dead horses.
They got Del Boy and Rodney, man.
Who's Del Boy? So Del Boy and Rodney, Arteta and Eddie.
Yeah. And I think that's a disrespect to Del Boy and Rodney, if I'm honest with you, but yeah.
Rochelle says, where is Awar? Arteta and Edu have so much to answer for. And Chris says, Madrid buying Awar. I haven't seen that rumour.
Nor have I.
Somebody said that Feyenoord are in the Conference League, but I haven't got that confirmed. Datijo says, I can't understand why Arsenal didn't go for Zuma of Crystal Palace. He's actually from Chelsea.
Yeah.
And Adama Traore of Wolves. They're better than our wide players. I think in the case of Adama Traore, I saw where Wolves are saying they want 50 million.
Yeah.
I mean, now, I love Adama Traore as a player, but you got to argue end product sometimes, isn't it?
He's an impact player,
he's you know which player, right?
I know already.
Now, I wouldn't have gone for him this season because we don't need him, and I don't want us to be buying players we don't need, but I do like this guy, and I would like to see. I'd like to see Arsenal sign this guy.
He play in the league already.
Maximan.
Yeah. I thought that was the name coming.
Do you like him?
Yeah, I like him. I do.
I'm really surprised, right, that nobody's gone in for him.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Newcastle, they probably want a lot of money because I think they paid about 27, 28 million for him.
Fake.
But he is a baller, man.
Nah, I like him as well. I think he's got a bit more to his game than Adama as well.
Yep.
But you're right, 50 million for an impact player doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Chitiana says, Carl says, do you trust Arteta with any of his young signings? I haven't seen any significant improvement in Arsenal youth. Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe were Freddie's boys.
Fair point, but I think you know what? It's hard to directly give Arteta credit for it because in January it did seem like it fell into his lap. But putting Saka on the right side and bringing in Emile Smith-Rowe in January, helped not a lot, but it helped us and it gave them the platform. And ever since, do you remember before Saka started on the right, there was always a debate: where does Saka play best? Is it attacking mid? Is it on the left? Is it left wing back? All of a sudden we see him on the right, and we're like, he's on the right. So I don't know if Arteta deserves credit for that or it fell into his lap, but
he does because he put him on the right.
Yeah.
So you've got to give him credit for that. Joe says, why aren't we going for Basuma? Edu needs a slap. He said, "Jesus, we're getting violent here." But there is a lot of frustration about the fact that we haven't gone for Basuma. Kyle Hinn says, White 23, Lokonga 21, Odegaard 22, Tomiyasu 22, Ramsdale 23, Tavares 21. If this works like Arteta and Edu want, we can have a prime team all at the same time. Why are you laughing?
Because listen,
no, good point.
And what about when the British core was around and if Wilshere, Ramsey, Oxlade, Kieran Gibbs, Carl Jenkins and all developed together, we've heard it before, Clichy, Nasri, Fabregas, that era, we thought the same thing. I agree this team's young and it's got potential, but give them some experience around them, give them a bit more, that bit more of that, the meat around the bones. That's what we need right now, to protect them and also aid them in their development.
You've got Granit Xhaka there.
Yeah, one red card in 3 games already this season, Rob.
Jerry Abu says, so Arteta didn't give us any happiness at the end of the window. Imagine Partey, Basuma and Awar in the midfield. Arteta and Edu haven't gotten eyes in football at all, and midfield is weak. And Achner says, Real Madrid negotiating with Lyon for Hossein Awar. And if that's true, that would explain to you why maybe Arsenal are not moving in for him.
Yeah.
Because probably they made an inquiry and been told that, no, he wants to go there, and they've said, all right, no point.
I've heard that before as well.
But then if that was the case, though, why have you left it so long?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's if they were even interested in Awar, because They've had all window to get him.
Yeah, they have.
So maybe they've just not had the interest in him. Maybe since they've signed it, they made a sign of Odegaard, they just said, no, we're cool.
It looks like that, Rob. It looks like that. Lokonga, Odegaard, and they're happy with the middle.
Yep. Pan Rasta 1 says, Robbie and Turkish, you need to bring AFTV to the Caribbean. You have a huge fan base here, and if you do make an island circuit, Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados, etc. Yeah, we're coming, man.
Hey, say that. I'm there.
I like the sound of that.
I'm there.
Give me some jerk chicken over in Jamaica, right? Stop off in Trinidad for some roti. Yeah, man, I'm feeling that. I'm really feeling that.
Remember Rob said
flying
we're there.
fish and cuckoo over in Barbados. Yeah.
That'll be
Sounding
banging.
good.
That'll be banging.
That's
Love
banging.
for the support, man. Love for the support from all over.
100%, man. We're feeling the love. I think I did that comment already. Will Ricketts says, and he's rating the window, and I know you're going to do that on your, on your channel later on.
Yeah.
Rate the window. So I'm not gonna ask you your rating, so that not to spoil that.
Yeah.
But Will Ricketts says 4 out of 10 for the window. Another window ain't finished yet, by the way. Ain't finished yet. So there's
still time for it to go down, people.
Rating on it so far. Another failed window. Miss midfielders like Renato, Sanchez, Basuma, Awar, Neves, etc. Sharpen protest before the Norwich game. Robbie, if you must go in, then you have to have a sign that says Kroenke out. I wouldn't give. I think 4 out of 10 is too low.
No. Because
It's too low. I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
oof, Rob. Above average, that means.
Yeah, I think it's above average window.
Is that because of the money spent, or is it because of the personnel?
Take into consideration these factors. So, money spent, 150 million so far.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money for Arsenal, man. When was the last time we spent that in a window?
We haven't. Well, not that net spend anyway. It's the
Yeah,
highest ever.
150 million. That's a lot of money. And then we needed a left back, backup left back. He
Yeah,
bought a
that was a
backup
good
left back,
signing,
Nuno Tavares. We needed a right back. He's bought, Takahiro.
A centre back / right back.
Right, / right back. And I was saying this morning, we need a centre back and a right back. He's got to have got 2 for 1, right? But he's done that. We needed a defensive midfielder. We still think we need a more experienced defensive midfielder, but he's bought Albert Sambi Lokonga.
Yep.
We needed a creative player, Martin Odegaard.
Yep.
We needed a backup goalkeeper. We bought a backup goalkeeper. The missing thing from me from this window is, I'd say 2 things. I still think an experienced
Big name.
centre back maybe or something. I still think David Luiz is a big loss. When I look at, he's better than Chambers, better than Holding.
Oh, yeah.
So I still maybe that.
Marquee signing.
And that marquee signing that gets us all excited.
Yeah.
Out of our seat, and we say, yeah, man, can't wait to go to Norwich. We haven't done that. So that's why I mark it down. But you can't fault the spending, and you can't fault the fact that he's dealt with areas that needed dealt with. And as well, we've gotten rid of I know we haven't got rid of them completely, but remember the window we're in. Look around at other teams and see how difficult they've found it to sell players, right? We've got a lot of players. We've got rid of Willian.
We've not got rid.
Well, he's gone, isn't
Luckily, he terminated, isn't it?
Whether luckily or not, he's gone.
Yeah,
he said
okay.
After negotiation, he's gone. That was now massive wages he was on.
Yeah, 200.
So we got rid of him. We've gotten rid of a load of players. A load of players have gone. Load of players. I mean, there's still players like Kolasinac and people like that I don't know why they're here. But we've got rid of a lot of players. We've sent a lot of players out on loan. So I personally think 6 out of 10. But I'm not excited. Ben White as well, I forgot. I'm not excited about it. But in the practicality of the window, everything they've done kind of makes sense. And I can't tell the last window that I can say, you know what, they've actually dealt with all the areas.
Not all.
What are the other areas then? Striker, they've had a problem
Yeah.
with sorting it. But then I think everybody, look at Man City. Man City have got money to burn. They couldn't sort their striker out.
No, you're
Their
right.
striker position. It's not an easy window as well. We've got to remember that. So to me, I think 6 out of 10 is being fair. I'm not just going to say, because they didn't get the big signing and because, United have got a 10 out of 10 window, I think. 10 out of 10 window.
Strong window.
Their window it's unbelievable. Varane, Ronaldo. They've had an unbelievable
Sancho,
window.
the
Right?
James Sale.
Yeah. And then Chelsea, but they needed less than us.
Yep.
But we've had a lot of holes to fill. And I think they filled a lot of these holes. It may not be, maybe we wanted in a while. Maybe we wanted it exciting.
But it does feel like some of the holes that they've plugged are holes that were self-inflicted. And by that I mean all right, Ben White, we signed Ben White 50 million. He could be the next best thing. But in the back of my mind, I have William Saliba. Yes, we signed Lokonga and he could be the next best thing. But in the back of my mind, I got Matteo Guendouzi. Let's not forget Matteo Guendouzi was bought for 8 mil. 6 months later, he was worth 50 mil in the top 20 young players in the world. And now it is what it is. So I feel like as much as you can look at them as pros, and I agree with you on most of them, and I think they are pros in isolation. If I take into account some of the outgoings, the lack of transfer fees in, and the lack of clarity around a William Saliba, for example, that kind of brings it back down to a 4 for me. So I'm with Will in terms of...
4's harsh, man. That's harsh. I mean, sorry. It's not been a below average transfer window for me. Below average is Petr Cech. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that window was that was a 2 out of 10 window,
Right,
1 out of 10.
Below average is what was that guy? What was the one with the broken back?
Kim Kallstrom.
Kallstrom.
Oh my days.
Those are below averages, right? I'm talking about, remember, yeah. Maybe I've been through more pain because of these transfer dailies, right? I've been through painful summers, man. So for me, at least I've had something to talk about.
You know what someone said here? You need to change the name from Transfer Daily to Loan Daily. But we ain't doing no transfer business.
But that's the market we're in at the moment.
It is, but then you see James go for 30 million, Zuma go for 25 million. You just think, we couldn't sell one? Well, Willock won, but we couldn't sell one of the players we actually wanted to sell for a decent fee. You couldn't do that? Well, not with Edu, you can't.
Willock went for 25.
Yeah, that was decent business. I think that's his value. I think that was fair.
And to be fair, he had 6 months on loan.
Yeah.
Where, he scored a load of goals, but that's it.
Yeah, no, I think that value was fair.
Yeah.
It's just that why didn't we get close to fair value for any more
Torreira's
players?
gone out on loan. That's another one, and that's a loan with an option to buy at the end of it.
Yeah.
So effectively, he'll be sold. So I think it's a 6 out of 10. I really do. Listen, let me ask you this, right?
Yeah.
Had we won our first 3 games, let's say, or we had 7 points right now, and we'd had the window that we'd had, you wouldn't be saying it as bad as it was, would you? Nor would a lot of people. It's because of the defeats that we've had and where we are in the table and that, why people are looking on this even more and saying, no, we need to get this person, we need to get that person. Because
of course, if we have 7 points from 9, you look at it differently. But Rob, you know me, there's 2 players that I've kind of, not just 2, because I've talked about Mesut Ozil, Mustafi before too, but there's 2 players I've picked out an awful lot over the last 2-3 years. Right back, Hector Bellerin, and central midfield, Granit Xhaka. And we still going into another season where, okay, Bellerin's nearly gone, but then you've got Chambers, Cedric, and Ainsley Maitland-Niles. That needs to be sorted out as well. It wasn't only Bellerin the problem in that position. Bellerin was the problem because we had faith in him, it didn't work. And ever since the faith in Bellerin didn't work out, we haven't, improved that area. We've hoped Ainsley Maitland-Niles can come in and do a job. We've hoped Chambers can come in and do a job. And we've hoped Cedric. In the end, we haven't fixed it. That's why I'm weary to say we've fixed something this summer. I need to see it play out.
Takehiro Tomiyasu.
My bro. Good luck to him because he's gonna need it. We're gonna need it, and I hope he is, because I'm hearing glowing reports. Some Serie A watchers saying, "Listen, Milan wanted him, Roma wanted him. He is a good defender." So I'm hoping he is a good defender.
Maldini says, "You know more than him."
Listen.
Anthony Skelton says, biggest problem we have, Edu doesn't have the guts to sack Edu. He says, Vinay knows nothing about football, neither does Josh. So who's going to sack and replace Edu, he says. Joe Wright says, if we keep Niles, I feel we need to go to a free with White, Tommy T, as he's calling him now, Gabriel, Niles as right wing back, and Tierney as left wing back. Maybe that could be the formation going forward. And Saud N says, I follow Serie A, and Tomiyasu is, in my opinion, just as good as Hakimi. As Hakimi?
I hope so. I hope so. I hope he's 80% of Hakimi. I'll be happy with that.
I remember Fabrizio Romano saying to me he loves him as a player.
Yeah. And he's over there, isn't he? So that's his league.
Cody says, check John Cross on Twitter. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, part of Arsenal's plans.
One thing about that is, we can see who's part of your plans and not. You've had Ainsley Maitland-Niles for 18 months under this manager. He was with another manager prior to that. We've seen he's not a priority for you. So why are you telling us now he is part of your plans when he hasn't been for the part? If he was part of your plans, why are you loaning him out in January? Why are you not playing him in the first side of the season when you're in such torrid form?
Part of the plans now.
They ain't got no plans. They're making the plans up every day.
Oliver says, Turkish is mad about everything. Talk about a Caribbean trip and his smile is ear to ear.
Jeez,
he can be happy, folks. Love for the love.
Come on. How can I not smile? Sun, sea, sand, good food. Come on.
Zenith says, why do Arsenal need a central midfielder? All of our play goes from the left anyways. This is exactly why we need the central midfielder. He goes, we should have bought 5 left backs and 5 left wingers. A disgrace. All right, I get it now. He's being sarcastic. Mohammed says, Maddison, Sabitzer, Areola, Aarons, Arisino, and Basuma.
7, 8 out of 10 window.
There's some good players there.
Yeah.
Sabitzer for me. Listen, I get the Maddison one was very expensive.
Yeah.
We got Odegaard instead. All right, I hear that. Sabitzer.
Good at you.
That's an experience, but I think it's 27.
Yeah, perfect age.
Perfect for that midfield. And Mike scores goals as well.
Yep.
Leadership qualities, captain of RB Leipzig, would have been a great signing. Max Aarons. What would that have been, 25, 30 mil?
Yeah, I think the Ramsdale outlay would have worked for Max Aarons.
And Basuma.
I think the Ben White.
I think he's there. Asensio he's talking about. Asensio. Not too sure if we need Asensio, but it would have been an exciting signing.
Asensio feels a lot like Isco for me, where he had high potential early on, but maybe stayed at Real a bit too long.
I think maybe with the Asensio thing, maybe they're looking at it and thinking, last year, Danny Ceballos.
Yeah.
You know? Coogie Bear says, Nelson, great loan for a Norwich or a Watford.
Who, Reiss? I would have preferred him to be loaned out to an English club, but I guess there was no... Well, you know what? Saliba kind of picked where he wanted to play. He picked Marseille. So I don't know if we're allowing these players to pick where they want or we're making the decision for them. But if Nelson could have gone to a Premier League club, I would have preferred that, just to see how he kicks on with 38 games.
Even I could have seen him at Palace or somebody like that as well.
Yeah.
High Star says, we can buy all the best tools and fix a car, but as long as we have a shit mechanic, we're still going to need to know how to use them. Arteta know how to mess them up. He's not convinced with Arteta. Sayam says, as a Bengali, Edu couldn't sell me a curry. Cody, as I did that one before, he said, Ainsley Maitland-Niles part of the plans according to John Cross's Twitter. Joe Wright says, I did that one already. AA says we are buying backups to backups.
It's mad.
The first 11 should be our backups. Shouldn't be our backups if we're ambitious. You know what I'd like you to do? You got a piece of pen on paper there? Or
no.
I want you to write down what your starting 11. If everybody's fit. If you can let me know that.
Yeah.
And you guys out there as well. I'd love to know from you guys. Ras Croc says, I think Arteta is hoping to use Ainsley as a CM. He was subbed him twice as a midfielder so far this season. Cal Depend says, we have a plan just like Disney did with Star Wars. Daily new plan. Kartik says, if Arsenal get relegated, if Arteta stays, this world will turn upside down. Big up Kesh Studios, the super chat. Shafif says, Robbie, still no right back, CDM or CM. We have got a right back. You've not heard about the new signing? We've got a right back. CDM or CM. We do have a CM.
Yep.
We do have a CDM as well, Sambi Lokonga. And we do have a CM in Martin Odegaard. So we do actually have those positions. It's just that we're saying, would have liked to have seen a bit more experience in some of them positions. We didn't need a centre-back, let alone two very average centre-backs. Even Ramsdale is poor for 24 million, he says. And I can't read this last one. It will come up in a minute.
Yeah.
Right, so you got your starting 11.
Yeah, I got my starting 11. In goal, Ramsdale.
Ramsdale?
Yeah, because we spent the money on him. We've got him now. Leno's in his last 2 years. There's rumours about whether he wants to be at the club or not. Might as well do it now rather than wait a year and then next year be told that it's a new goalkeeper coming in. The defence needs to get used to Ramsdale and all of this nonsense. Get it done now. If this is your long-term keeper, change it up now. That's what I would do. If Leno wants to stay, then cool. That's another argument. But if the rumours are to be believed, then Ramsdale.
Do mind what you're doing.
Right back, Tomiyasu, because who else have we really got? And I don't mean that to tell me Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Cedric Chambers. No. Who else have we really got? Tomiyasu, right back, Tierney, left back, White and Gabriel, centre backs. So it's a back four there. Partey and Lokonga in the middle. Even though I said there's similarities there, I feel like I'm more...
Who be holding... Sambi Lokonga holding?
I'd say because of the experience, I'd say Partey.
Right.
But then again, people might argue that you dilute his attacking qualities. I'm just intrigued by that partnership. I'm not intrigued by Xhaka El Nene and any one of those kind of... Saka on the right, Odegaard in the middle, and Emil Smith-Rowe on the left. So obviously Pepe on the bench, and who else on the bench out of Martinelli, and up front Aubameyang. Massive 6 months for him.
Don't you think that's a decent team? It's not the team that's gonna win the league. It's not a team that's gonna... That team should be... That team...
Top 8.
That team should be challenging for the top 4.
Nah.
That team's not good enough to get in the top 4. So hear me on this, right? That team should be in the top 6 and in and around threatening the top 4. And if things go their way and certain teams slip up, they could have a shout for it. With that team, if that team's been managed right and really seriously,
I think.
And then you look at the bench, you still got Lacazette. According to how you've done it, you still have Lacazette on the bench. You'd have Pepe on the bench.
Martinelli.
You'd have Martinelli on the bench.
Xhaka.
Xhaka on the bench. That team should be in an... All right, maybe not top... That team should be in the top 6.
I'd say challenge for top 6. Because I'd say Leicester...
In the top 6.
Leicester's got a better 11 than us. So that would be the 5th team I put above us for better 11s. And then maybe 6th place, you could argue West Ham, Everton, Arsenal. In terms of...
Is that team that you just named out not better than that team should be in it. There's no excuses that team should be in and around a top 6.
It's a challenge, Rob, at best.
And that team should be knocking on the door of the top 4. That team should be taking points off of some of the top 4 team, especially at home. Not away necessarily, but at home.
Do you know what I think is a major difference between us and West Ham and Leicester? West Ham and Leicester have good leaders in their side.
Yep.
And look at Antonio, for example, at West Ham, and over the years they've had Noble and whatnot. You look at Leicester, Vardy, and some of the Johnny Evans came in to replace Hoofum. They've had good leaders for the young players that come in, and I actually feel that's the difference. Because the more we talk about starting 11s, maybe you can
lack of experience now.
But someone said I forgot Spurs. Yeah, I tend to do that, but you know, it is what it is.
Spurs will be in there as well.
So challenge for top 6 is the best.
Put it this way, it should be in and around that argument with that team.
And Arteta might tell you 8th is in and around it.
No, well, that's not good enough. Adam Adams says we need a strong, physical, smart and skillful midfielder to partner Thomas Partey. Noah Sargent says I would play a 5-3-2 formation. Left back Kieran Tierney, Ben White, mid and TT TT, I loving this TT. RCB, Xhaka, Lokonga as my holding midfielders. Odegaard at 10. Maitland-Niles, right back. Tavares, left wing back. Laka and Aubameyang up front. Leno, he's put up front. I'm sure he means in goal. Where's Partey in that team? He's forgotten Partey. Ben Wilmot says, I'm happy with who we've brought in, but at the same time, unhappy we haven't got rid of more deadwood like Kolasinac, El Neni, Cedric, and brought in a CM. Kolasinac and El Neni are going to be here, aren't they?
Again, another one.
I mean, El Neni, again.
Yeah, and I mean, we only paid $7 million for him, and you know, like, just let him go. Like, just let him.
It's not the answer, is he? He works hard, tries hard, not the answer. Tom says, do we thank Willian for the Tomiyasu deal? 20 million wages freed up. The guy left in style. All the best. That's a good point, isn't it?
Nah.
Huh?
No. Do we think Willian?
You're hardcore, you know. No, but if he hadn't have left, if he hadn't have torn up that contract, we wouldn't have got that deal done today, wouldn't we?
Listen, in 3 years we might be here saying, "Oh, I can't believe we signed Tomiyasu. Like, we can't even get rid of him, Rob. What are we doing?" So I'll hold off on the praise for Willian right now. Let me see what Tomiyasu's about.
Shard says, has anyone thought of signing Tariq Lamptey since he's a human rocket in the right back position? I think injuries, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's been out a whole season, literally.
And he's very small as well. That's the problem I think he's having.
Red White Pappy 93 says, every team's core is built from the back. Prignac says, Robbie, how many signings start for last year's top 7?
Odegaard gets into a couple. Signings, you said. Odegaard gets into a couple. The sentence might end there. I'm trying to think of fullbacks and seeing if Tavares gets in, but I doubt it. I'm trying to think of Lokonga, doubt it. Ben White, doubt it.
Ben White might get into some of those.
Maybe a Tottenham. Maybe.
Ben White would get into a Tottenham, I think. Although they've just bought that Romero. But I think Ben White will get into a Tottenham. Ben White would possibly get into an Everton.
Okay, yeah, we're classing them. Okay, cool, yeah.
I think Ben White could possibly get into a Leicester as well.
Potentially. But I think the point is made. I think he's
the point
making
is
a
made.
point.
The point is made. I mean, obviously, I don't think none of them get into any of the top 4 teams.
No chance.
Ozef says, mark my words, this club will not move forward until Kroenke is gone. He has no passion for the club. Win or lose or draw, he makes his profit. Perhaps one day the fan base will unite and get him out of the club. Until then, is he making a profit at the moment, though? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. And without a big signing, like we said, it's going to have a further impact on shirt sales because big signings, means more shirts sold. So I think in the next year, like I said, optimistically hoping that a report will come out saying our shirt sales have gone down, our attendances have gone down, and that affects his pocket. We're already a loss-making business, Rob. It's been 3 years we're a loss-making business. So
I know you had a kid recently, and if you had, say you had 3 kids.
Yeah.
One of them supports Man United.
Yeah.
One of them supports Chelsea, and the other one supports Arsenal.
So I got one kid.
Yeah. I like that he's got one kid. It does happen, right? That you can have kids and they want to support other teams.
Yeah.
My son's tried. I've had to sort him out. He's still an Arsenal fan. Don't worry. He's saying to me that he wants to also support PSG.
I knew PSG.
I go, that can't go on, but I go, no other English club, right? Well, you got 3 kids. One's a Man United supporter, one's a Chelsea supporter, one's an Arsenal supporter. Christmas comes, you got to buy them all a kit, right? So you buy one son, the United kit, he's got Ronaldo on the back.
Yeah.
You buy the Chelsea, your Chelsea son, a kit, he's got Lukaku on the back. What name do you put on the back of your Arsenal supporting kid from our transfers that we've made?
Cronk it out. You know it already, Rob. And it won't be from the club store. That's all you need to know.
But just go. The point I'm just trying to make is that none of the signings are exciting, are they?
Nah.
Well, you're going to put Ben White on the back,
Yeah. Odegaard, the fanciest name, and like we said, because he's already came in January,
because he was already
that. If we had just bought him fresh in the summer, there would have been a lot more hype around it. But
Kaiser Beat says supporting Arsenal is like getting cheated on every year. We make 2 signings, 2 seasons too late every year, he says. And Abdul says, can we organise a mass walkout at the next home game to protest Kroenke? Nothing will change until he's gone or changes his ways. Now I'm going to say something very controversial now. This summer he's changed his ways a bit because he's given Arteta a lot of money.
Premature to say that, I think. We have to find
This
out.
summer, I'm not saying in everything.
Yeah.
This summer in transfers, he's given Arteta so far £150 million.
Yeah, but I want to know where it came from.
We've spent the most.
I want to know where it come from, Rob.
All right.
Did it come from his pocket or did it?
We'll find that, but at the moment,
Yeah.
we've spent the most. We, Arsenal Football Club, until that transfer window closes tonight, there may be some other, but at the moment, as it stands, we have spent the most money in the Premier League. In English football, we've spent the most this summer, us.
Imagine. Yeah, I get it, Rob. I get it. And when you compare it to other clubs, it looks like, they have changed their ways. But when you see who they've left in charge of that money, and I recognise the problem of the Kroenkes being a lack of care, I feel like they haven't changed their ways because it's still a lack of care. Okay,
you're
giving the money, but you haven't
it's still
cared
that,
about
but
it.
money-wise...
You know what? I read a report the other day, Rob, and I didn't want to mention it because I don't know how true it is.
I know the report you're going to say.
Do you?
I know the report you're going to say about the teams that have spent the most money since 2010. That one.
That was one. But I read another one that over the last 4 years or so, all the talk about we can only loan players, we need to do this, and financially, they were essentially saving money on the side them years to do a transfer window like this and make it seem like and I have to delve into the numbers and figures because we had a big transfer window in 2019 too. So I'll get back with confirmation on that, but I wouldn't be surprised because how many times we've been told we can't buy this player, we can only loan him. What happened to the money there? Maybe in the back pocket for a future date to make it seem like to us like, wow, 150 mil? Essentially, it's our money we saved up. So until it comes out that Kroenke invested that and not a loan or not the club's own money, I'm going to be waiting patiently.
Eunice says everyone criticises El Neni, but he's one of the very few that has heart and passion. He does a decent job when we have injuries, so stop slating him. There was a word you used there, decent.
Not good enough.
Heart, passion, everything I completely agree with you. Nobody can ever fault Mohamed El Neni's effort in a game, but he does a decent job. Yeah. You're not going to get into the top 4 by being decent.
Yeah, not in this.
That's the problem. That's the problem right there. I'm going to round off some of these super chats.
Yeah.
Because coming into the studio a little later on, we've got Lee Judges, we've got Dan Potts going to be joining us. Cecil's in the building as well, and we're going to be debating all the transfers. So coming up later on, but let me try and. There's so many comments, so many super chats as well coming in. Really appreciate that. So let's run through a load more of those. Shard says Kolasinac has the turn-in agility of a dumper truck. That's a bit harsh. Abdul says
harsh on dumper trucks.
Nayala says, okay, let's talk about Kroenke. He spent 200 million. The biggest issues are Edu and Arteta. Kroenke isn't making choices about playing a back 5. I get that you don't like him, but let's focus.
My point exactly. Focus. Who put Arteta and Edu in this position?
No. He said it. Did you hear what he said?
Yeah.
But who put them there? 200 million.
But who left them to do it? Who allowed them to do it? Like we said, Rob, on Friday's News Daily, you wouldn't allow someone with no experience to all of a sudden run your business. I wouldn't allow anyone with no experience to run what I do because you'd expect them to fail because they're not experienced. They haven't done it before. So that is my fault. It's not their fault that I've given them responsibility and they failed when the reality is they were bound to fail because they have no experience. So that still comes to me. I've just put a new face in front of it. I can remove them faces and put another one there if you want. If you're going to be fooled again, that's better for me being Kroenke. But it's about time you realise these are just faces that they put in front of us. The main face behind all of it, 8-2 10 years ago, Stan Kroenke. 5-0 the other day, Stan Kroenke. That's the consistent factor. Everything else has changed.
Callum Watson says Edu treats deals like he's cooking a steak on a barbecue. Rare and never well done. Paul Tick says we've signed good players. The squad is decent, but the manager is bad. He can't get the best out of them or build any chemistry. I think with the listen, when he goes in to see the Kroenkes, whether we like Kroenkes or not, they're going to say, yeah, we give you 150 million this year. Don't want to hear nothing. Well, that's what they should be saying anyway. By the way, breaking news on another team. Real Madrid have signed Eduardo Camavinga.
£27 million.
Good player. Very good player.
I wonder if they had that, in their back pocket the whole summer, or if another club was shrewd enough, could they have got them? Because we was not linked, but a lot of fans wanted us to go.
We were linked with Camavinga. We were linked with him, but again, Real Madrid, Arsenal, Champions League, Sean Geraghty says, well, we can't complain about loans not getting fees. Oops, that one's just jumped for me. Oh, where'd it go? Sorry, I'm just... Here we go. He says, we can't complain about loans not getting fees while also complaining about not clearing guys out like El Neni. The market is effed. Hasn't been horrible. Anthony Skelton says, Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Tierney, Partey, Lokonga, Saka, Odegaard, Pepe, Aubameyang and Balogun in a 3-5-2. That's what he'd like to see. Mal says Arsenal are a mid-table club making mid-table signings. Cougie Beer says Tierney and Saka only players that would get into West Ham's first team. Izzat says I've heard rumours about a Qatari takeover. Kroenke to rethink to sell the club and sacking Arteta. Is it true or is it just rumours? Rumours?
Yep.
Randy B59 says Arsenal did more with less. Arteta has no excuse.
You know what really jars me, Rob? I actually think that if we said to Antonio Conte at the beginning of this summer, you've got 150 million cash plus player sales, which could accumulate to over 200 million, that would be enough for him to maybe consider it. Because when you think about it, 150 million and then you add player sales on top, new manager getting 200 mil, I think that's as much support as you can get.
It's a lot of money, man. It's a lot of money.
Why did they leave it with Arteta? How silly can you be? He already had 2 chances in one season, November being the first and then Europa League semi-final being the second. And you guys thought, you know what I'm going to do? Let me give him 150 mil. Nonsense. It comes down to the person allowing it to happen, in all honesty. You give me 150 million, Rob, I'm going to try to spend it. If I spend it wrongly, it really comes back down to you for giving it to me.
Going to get better says Arsenal is Moneyball, players bought and statistics. Claudio Ranieri is a suitable option if Arteta is sacked, says Alexander. Hassan said Odegaard and Lokonga, good for a creative midfield, sorted backup goalkeeper, signed a backup left back and first choice right back. However, CM, CDM and CB are woefully short. Joe Wright says, right guys, Lagrover's come out saying Edu and Arteta are falling out, so there is no clarity in the system at Arsenal. Adrian says, why do we still expect Arsenal to move in a winning direction? We are the new Newcastle. Let's stop deluding ourselves. A man says, mark my words, he's spending to shut down protests. You will have silent windows from now on. To be honest, in order to close the gap of the top 4, we need 2 to 3 windows, more like this one, in terms of investment. Again, Manas says Mikel Arteta and Edu have fallen out. These are the rumours. And
what a time to fall out on deadline day, imagine.
if that is true. And I think there was one more comment there I was trying to get. I like this comment here. Paras says, the team lacks experience, needs experienced coach and experienced players. We could have signed Jerome Boateng. We was talking about that one earlier. He's gone out on he's gone for a free today. Jerome Boateng, Arsenal, bit of experience.
Yeah, I mean, we've tried in the past few years to get that type of a player in, and I think we failed in Luiz and Willian and whatnot. I think Jerome Boateng's been at the top level of football. And if you've got a young side and a side that lacks leaders, that was an option.
Sean Garrity says Conte 200 million, yes, but the players won't come. No Europe. I think if they will come if they've. Do you know what? If you ain't got Europe, but you've got money, and you've got a manager of that stature, they'll come.
Exactly. They're not coming here because of no Europe and Arteta. But if we bring in Conte this summer, it looks very different. Everyone's going to be a bit worried about, Arsenal might be back, including the players.
Navinda says, question, do you see any other signings?
Nah.
Today?
No. What's the time now? 5:45. I'd say we'll know by 8 p.m.
Yeah,
because Arsenal. It took us 8 weeks to do Ben White. We've got less than 8 hours left now. So.
I think I'm going to end it there. Right? So the breaking news, not so breaking now if you've been following the stream, Reiss Nelson has left Arsenal and joined Feyenoord on a season-long loan. No obligation to buy. He will return back to us after, but he's left and he's joined Feyenoord on a season-long loan. Right? We'll be paying over there. So in Dutch football. So a good move for him. Earlier on, in case you guys missed it, I'm sure you know by now, you've been following the transfers. Takehiro Tomiyasu, affectionately already got picked up a nickname from a lot of you guys calling him TT, has joined Arsenal from Bologna for, anything from around about £17 million plus add-ons. Sky being Saint reporting it as about 19 million. But he's joined, can play either as a right-sided centre-back or a right-back. He has joined Arsenal. Today, that was a real surprise, one out of the blue. That was our 6th signing that we've made. And also, it does look like we're not going to be moving for Houssem Aouar. Arsenal have not made any inquiries about Houssem Aouar today. Indeed, I'm hearing a lot of reports that he's might be signing for Real Madrid, who've just signed Eduardo Camavinga. And also, the other one is Hector Bellerin. Still waiting to hear if Hector Bellerin has joined Real Betis on a season-long loan. Couple more super chats just for a go. Edu and Mikel knew KSE has no football knowledge. The Arsenal legends, to give direction, they use KSE to further their own careers, and they got nothing to lose. And final one, Anirudh says, not an Arsenal fan, but Ainsley Maitland-Niles going public with his situation when the club is in tatters is very distasteful, lacks respect for the club that pays his wages.
But I think it also highlights that what I think, that this is not Arsenal Football Club, it's Arsenal Football Company now. And if you put those shades on and look at Arsenal as a company, I can understand what Ainsley Maitland-Niles has done a lot more than I would if I put myself in the situation here and, distasteful and whatnot. I get that if it's a football club that treats you well, but if it's a football company that, always worries about the bottom line, doesn't care about your development and leaves you out in the cold, I can understand it, Rob. It doesn't help us, but I can understand it.
I'm trying to end the stream. We keep getting these super chats. Andre says, hi guys from Oz. Out of the top 6 clubs, you have to take one player from the other 5 clubs to improve your Arsenal. Who do you take?
One player from the other 5 big 6 clubs.
Just do it top 4. We'll be here all day.
Okay, top 4.
Take Ruben Diaz from
Man
no,
City.
I'll take Van Dijk. I'll take Ruben Diaz from things. So I've got 2 centre halves right there. You can see where I'm going. I'm straight from the back.
Straight away.
Then I'm gonna take
Diaz is a very good shout, Rob, because I was thinking of a second place for City, but I think I'd take Diaz from City.
Diaz and Virgil van Dijk I'll take from Liverpool and City.
I'll take Salah from Liverpool.
Yeah.
Diaz from City. I'd take Pogba from United. And I would take, who's left? Chelsea. They've got a few tasty players in there. I'd probably take Reiss James from Chelsea, because we need a right back.
I'd take Diaz from City. I'd take Virgil. No, you know what? I'd take Virgil van Dijk from Liverpool. No, I'll take Diaz is from City.
Yeah.
Virgil van Dijk from Liverpool. I'd take Lukaku from Chelsea.
Oof. Why did I say James? I'm changing mine.
I'd take... Yeah, I might have a bit of Pogba.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of Pogba from Man United as well.
Bit of something silky in the middle, man. It's been a while.
And I'll take Ndidi from Leicester.
Oh, that's a good shot. Leicester as well. That's a good shot.
Yeah. I like that question. That was a good question.
Yeah.
All right. But listen, guys, thank you very much for joining us on this stream. And you've been joining us all day, and we really appreciate this. As I said, as any signings, we will break the news here and give you a chance to, discuss it as well and talk about it. So, and we're going to be doing a special show a little bit later on. We've got lead judges coming into the studio, Dan Potts. We're here as well, talking about, all the transfer business that we've done so far this summer, and also, again, breaking anything that comes in. So keep it locked here. Thanks for watching the show. Cecil's in the building as well. What? Nearly forgot Cecil.
What, no one take Ronaldo?
Huh?
From United?
Nah, 36-year-old. Nah, I'm good, man. I'm good, man. we got Eddie and Ketia, mate.
Thanks, guys. And yes, we will catch up with you on the next one.
Love.